Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good, yeah, that's true, yeah. Maybe I didn't love you quite as much as that's true, yeah. It'll feel the true as staying down. I just never told it time. You're always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Maybe I didn't wrong you. Out those lonely, lonely times. And again, I never told you. I'm so happy that you're mine. If I made you feel a second best, I'm so sorry I was blind. You will always on my mind. You will always on my mind. Tell me that your sweet love has died. Give me one more chance to keep you satisfied. Satisfied. Little thing that should have stayed down. I just never saw the time. You will always on my mind. You will always on my mind. You will always on my mind. You're always on my mind.